tell us that ghost story about you. Is it your dad? Then I'll just to get us started, kind of thing.
Well,
Where? So your dad used to do errands for somebody, didn't
my dad used to do errands. He used to live at Cape in Whitwick, and when he used to come home from school, he'd get changed out. You know how they had to get out of the school uniform into the old clothes.
he? Yeah.
Then he'd walk up by Mount St Bernard's Abbey to some houses up there.
Yeah. Where was this? 30s or something?
It, it must have been in the 30s.
Yeah.
It might have been just before. I don't exactly know where the row of houses were, but this particularly, it was a winter's time, and my
Yeah.
dad got home from school and it was snowing,
Yeah.
and he was getting changed, and my granddad said, "Where are you going, lad?" He said, "I'm going up to see if she needs any groceries." I can't remember the woman's name because this story
Yeah.
years old.
What was your granddad's name?
Walter.
Yeah.
So my young granddad Walter said, "You don't want to go in this, lad." He said, I'm going, Dad." He said, "It's snowing." So my dad ignored him, and it's about a 2.5, 3 mile walk to the cottages. And he got his head down, and the snow was coming down onto the ground. And when he got towards the cottage, he looked up, and the old lady he was going to was standing on the doorstep. Well, my dad waved, and she waved back. And my dad had put his head down because of the snow, and when he looked up again, she was gone.
Yeah.
So he carried on and walked up to the house, knocked on the door, and one of the neighbours answered and said, "What are you doing here, lad?" He said, "I'm come to see if she wants any groceries fetching." He said, "She passed away 3 hours ago, lad."
Hmm.
And my dad says, "No, she's just waved to me. I've seen her standing on the front doorstep." And she said, "Well, if you look down, lad, you'll see there's no foot." You look down, there were no footprints on the front doorstep.
Yeah.
And that's the story my dad told me years and years ago.
Yeah.
I might have forgot some of it, but
Yeah.
that was the gist of it.
Yeah.
Every day he'd go and fetch her the groceries. He'd walk up to the house, then all the way down into Whitwick, do the shopping, and carry it all the way back up to her.
God. Bad snow in them days, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
Where's your family buried then, mainly?
Most of them are buried. My dad's family are buried in Whitwick Cemetery. My dad's buried with his brother Jake,
Yeah.
and just behind there is Colin. And as you're going into Whitwick Cemetery, there's my grandma and granddad, and I can't remember which one's buried with my grandma and granddad. But next time I go down the cemetery, I'll have a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they born in up Cayman Hill, they had a big family.
Who's this, granddad?
Yeah,
Cayman Hill. Where's that then?
that's in Whitwick.
All right.
As you go down from Silver Street,
Yeah.
and then you go round the corner up by the garage, and that's Caedmon Hill all the way up to the top of the road there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. My granddad was always smoking a pipe,
Yeah.
you know, that's all down on his lip, smoking. Yeah, it was a great one for home remedies, you know.
Oh yeah.
My dad was ill once, he got something wrong with his head,
Yeah.
and it was causing him agony it were.
Yeah.
So my granddad said, "Come here, lad." And he said, "What you going to do?" And he took the top off the old oil lamps,
Yeah.
and he got a match or something. And he said, "Put your head down here," and he dropped this paraffin into my dad's ear.
Yeah.
And my dad said it was going off like a firework.
Oh yeah, popping.
Yeah, I think that was what the trouble were. It started to bleed a bit in his ear.
Yeah.
And that's when my granddad put this paraffin into his ear. So my dad said, he said it was going off like fireworks, but it did the trick.
Yeah.
All these old remedies like. And my granddad, he used to have an Alsatian named Max.
Yeah.
Soft as a brush they were.
When your dad, how old would you? Is this your granddad? Did you say?
My granddad, yeah.
Would he have been a kid when he had the dog, or adult?
No, he was going on a bit, my
Okay.
granddad. But I think he worked till he was 72 at the pit.
Yeah.
and he used to walk up to Whitwick Pit and get his wages,
Yeah.
well, his pension then.
Yeah.
And I went up with my dad on a Sunday morning, and I went up the garden, and as I come down, there were a big frog or toad sat on the steps, and I just stood there bubbling.
Yeah.
And my granddad come out and he said, "What's up, lad?" I said, "There's a big frog."
Yeah.
He said, "Max, go." So Max come running up the garden, and he just gently picked the frog up and sort of threw him to one side, and
Yeah.
it was marvellous to see. Hurt the frog.
Yeah.
He just picked it up and sort of spat it out away from it, and I come down the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever take Max for a walk?
No,
No.
never took him for a walk.
Yeah.
I remember we went up once with me, my dad, and my brother Paul.
Yeah.
And when we got there were like a blue tricycle, you know, the old tricycle.
Yeah.
And this one had got a box on the back
Yeah.
with a, well, I said to my dad, "Who's it that for, Dad?" He says, "It's your lad."
Yeah.
It's like a rather a birthday present, I think, because it was summertime, like. So I'm riding off on it. I thought, I'll go on this. And I started pedalling like hell, and all of a sudden I weren't moving, because I didn't know it had got an handle on the back. You pull the handle out from underneath the basket sort of thing,
Yeah.
and my dad could stop me from going wherever he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that blue, but painted blue. I don't know who painted it bright blue, but it was nice.
When did you get that then? Was it for an occasion, or was it just?
I think it might have been for my birthday. I don't really know what. Well, it could have been for my birthday in the summer because I was born in November.
Yeah.
But it was definitely my bike.
Yeah.
You know, I love that trike.
How old were you then?
I must have been about 5, 6. Yeah.
You lived in Whitwick, did you?
No, we lived in Thringstone.
Thringstone,
My granddad lived in Whitwick. I can't remember my grandma's name now. I will find out. I'll look on the head's tombstone when I go.
This is your granddad.
My dad's
side?
dad's my but it wouldn't be my great granddad, would he? No, it'd be just my granddad, wouldn't it? Granddad Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he talked, his voice, because it was going on a bit, it sort of vibrated, you know.
Yeah.
You'll be all right, laddie, you know. I love
Yeah.
my grandma and granddad. We used to go walk up there most Sundays.
Did everybody work in the pit then through your family, then that side of the family? Then?
Well, I don't know, can't remember. My Uncle Jake was a plasterer by trade. I can't remember what my Uncle Jim were.
Yeah.
I know Jake were.
Great granddad and your dad. Oh, your granddad and was it your dad, your granddad, and great granddad worked in the pit, did they?
I don't know about my great granddad. I know my granddad did. He worked at Whitwick Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I think my dad said he was nearly 72 before he packed up working.
Is that
at
where
the
the
pit.
disaster happened? The Whitwick?
That was where the mining disaster happened, Whitwick Pit, where they had to close one of the faces off.
Yeah, bless him.
It's now been built over by Morrison's, ain't it?
Yeah.
My daughter Kelly, she worked in Morrison's, and
Yeah.
she worked in the baker's.
Yeah.
And she was saying, even on the hottest day, if you walked up to the far end of the bakery, it felt always cold up there.
Yeah.
And apparently that was built near one of the old mine shafts.
Yeah.
So you make of that what you want, but it was always cold up there, even in summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other memories of being a kid if you think of?
Yeah. Well, my dad he started off at Lount Pit, and he was working in water up to his knees every time.
Yeah.
I read the readout on, you can go walking around there, they pumped out 200,000 gallons of water a year out of that pit.
Oh.
But it got that bad at the end, they had to close it because it was getting dangerous.
Yeah.
So then my dad Dad worked in loads of pits. I think
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether he worked in Snibby. I know he worked at Whitwick. Then he got from Whitwick. I think he ended up at Alistown pit.
Yeah.
Where he
Was he an
retired.
actual miner, like working on the coal face kind of thing?
He did work on the coal face because I remember when I was a nipper, my dad had a serious accident. A lump of coal fell out off the roof
Yeah.
and fell across his back.
Oh yeah.
And then he was in Loughborough Hospital for quite a while, encased in plaster from his neck down to his waist because of his back.
So it like broke his back, do you reckon?
I'm not sure what it damaged his back. I don't know whether it broke it. I don't think it broke it, but it did some serious damage to it.
Yeah.
And he was encased in plaster from his neck to his waist.
Yeah.
And he was in that for quite a while.
Yeah.
And when they had cut the plaster off, they just cut it up the middle and then they ripped it off.
Yeah.
And my dad was an airy person at the best of times on his chest, and it just ripped all the hairs off his chest. He was very lucky then.
Yeah.
But that's how it were in the pit. They went to all this health and safety bit then. Yeah.
Was he in hospital for ages then?
Yeah, he was in Loughborough Hospital near the cattle market. I think the hospital used to be down there, near there at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever go places like Loughborough, like when you were a kid, or was it too far?
We used to go get about.
Did you do on the bus and that, or did you biking it?
Go. If we went out with family, we'd sometimes go on the bus. Old lady Shelton next door, Mrs. Shelton, her husband was named Jack. My dad's name was John.
Thringstone?
Yeah.
What were the road called?
Henson's Lane. We lived at 32 and they lived at number 13.
Yeah.
And she'd organise seaside trips, get everybody pay up the street so much a week and pay it there, and then the bus would roll up and we'd get on with as little as sandwiches, packs of sandwiches we used to take with us, and off we go to Skeggy or Mablethorpe or somewhere like that.
What did you have in the sandwiches? Jam or something?
I can't write. You're talking over. I'm 75 now, Russ. Yeah. We're talking when I was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I can't remember what with this. I used to enjoy them.
Yeah.
And of course, coming back, it could have been. It's the same old song, just the driver want to wee and all this. And then you come round with the hat at the end when we got back up Henson's Lane, putting some money in for the driver.
Did they drop you off at home then?
Yeah, it used to drop. Everybody lived up Henson's Lane there on who went on the trips.
Where were the depot based? The buses, you know?
I've no idea. I know it with the old-fashioned type buses, not like the modern ones you get now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there and back in the day kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. I used to say threatening Joey's up. That's threatening bits. And a pocket full of them to take with me.
How old would you have been roughly? Like less than 10?
I was less than 10. Might have been 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure now. But it was a good day out, everybody.
Did you go in the arcades?
I think we went on the beaches and then the arcades.
Yeah.
The usual thing, fish and chips on the seafront, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eat a bag of chips out to newspaper as you're going along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like it when near Whitwick Park there used to be a big field at the side on it, and Whitwick used to be go there. I'm not sure whether it's Armstrong's or somebody. And Whitwick, you start on a Friday, on Saturday, and on a Monday. Then it used to leave. It used to love going to the wake. I didn't go with me. I think I might have gone with my mum and dad, but when I was older, I was about 16, 17, then we used to go with my mates on the waltzes and the speedway, sitting on the speedway, the motorbikes.
Is this the 50s?
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, but now that field is gone and there's big housing estate there now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the same as everything else. Everything's getting sold off for the building, ain't there?
yeah. You used to go to
Oh, yeah. Don't bring that up. Yeah,
what were the woods? Where was it? Whitwick?
Thringstone
Oh,
Woods.
Thringstone was.
Come the holiday time, you got 8 to 9 weeks off. I spent nearly all my holiday time down there because we'd go. Sometimes we'd go Blackpool for a week, with me, my mum, my dad, my sister, and well, we used to go for 2 weeks. First 2 weeks in July. After a week, I was bored out my head because
Yeah,
you're doing the same thing. But I used to love going down the woods.
being out in nature and stuff.
Yeah, building camps,
Yeah,
making swings,
yeah,
playing games of hide and seek and what have you.
yeah.
And there
Oh,
was
bow and arrows and stuff.
no, we didn't take bow and arrows down there. We
Oh.
we just we used to pull a big fern up, take the leaves off, and use that as a spear. It didn't hurt you so much when it hit.
What
Yeah.
was that story about you being tied to the branch or so, or holding the branch or so?
Well, I went down. My brother weren't too pleased, but he had to take me down the wood with him and his mates, and they got onto this big branch of a tree,
Yeah,
and they were pulling it down, trying to break it off
yeah,
for some reason.
yeah,
Because they're pulling and pulling and pulling. Of course, idiot here went to the front,
yeah,
and I'm pushing it back up the hill,
yeah,
and one by one they let go. And the branch was that strong,
yeah,
they just all let go, and the next thing I knew, I'm flying through the air,
yeah,
10, 12 foot up in the air. It might be a bit higher, and then
yeah,
I let go, and I come flipping down
yeah,
onto the ground, rolled down the embankment, and just lay there. And I heard my brother say, "He's dead,"
yeah,
and they all come running down, and I weren't dead, but I really, I really
yeah,
winded. Quite a surprise being shot up in the air like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. It was just there and whoosh, up
Yeah.
and gone.
And who was it in the family that made the Davy Crockett hat out of
That was my auntie Ev. She used to own the little shop near the Fox,
Yeah,
and she used to have one of the old pedal machines. And when David Crockett won, she got this old fur coat she never wore it, and she cut it up and made me a David
yeah.
Crockett's hat with it.
Did she make a whole one, or did she?
No, I think it was only me.
What's she selling in the shop then?
It was just a corner shop,
Sweet shop.
sweet shop, groceries.
Yeah.
You could get some ham from there, cigarettes, the usual.
Did you get any free stuff, or did you have to pay?
I occasionally get a bit of free stuff from them.
Yeah,
But the best thing is with having the corner shop and my auntie owning it.
yeah,
If it were Christmas time and we ran out, it just nip down your aunt's house, lad, see if she
yeah,
got. Just go round the back door, knock on the back door. Uncle Ted, is my Aunt Eb in? Yeah, come in then. That was my Aunt Eb's
yeah,
uncle's husband's name, Ted.
yeah,
He had to retire early from his job because he used to love motorbikes, but he seriously injured his leg, I think.
oh yeah,
So he used to limp a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your dad there lost his leg, or your granddad or something.
No, it with my dad, that was
Yeah.
due to smoke, and
Oh yeah,
he had an ulcer on his leg, and it got that bad it through the vein and
yeah.
bleeding, and it was amputated just below the knee.
What age was he when he had that done?
I can't remember, Russ.
So did he have a false leg, did he?
Oh yeah, he had a false leg. It was a blooming thing. Not like the things now. It was
Yeah.
just a leg.
Was it like a wooden thing?
No, I think it was like a
Aluminium?
plasticky thing,
Oh.
sort of thing. And many times we'd go and see him in the nursing home, and he'd sit there scratching his foot, and I'd say to him, "Dad, you ain't got a foot."
Yeah,
And he used to say, "Well, I know that, lad, but you try telling this up here that there's
Yeah,
no
I
leg
know
down
that.
there, because you still get the itching sensation,
find
don't
some
you?"
itch
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Still get them.
Yeah.
It was winter times, and when I was a nipper, it used to be really bad. 8, 6 foot snow drifts outside the house and one thing another.
Yeah.
And it got that bad one year that all the miners in the lane got together, and they all got the shovels out, and they dug dug a way round to my Aunt Ev's shop.
Wow.
And they got to the shop and then they said, well, the pub's only a few yards further on, so I think my dad said they dug a way round to the pub as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wives will know where they are, though, won't they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, that is.
That's how it used to be then in them days. Everybody helped each other out.
More kin and that.
Yeah.
What kind of games did you play? Did you play marbles and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, I played marbles.
Yeah. What, in the street where you lived?
No, where we lived, there were our house and Mrs. Fotheringham next door. They were a jitty, used to take you up through the recce and down onto Main Street, just across the road from the Fox.
Yeah.
We used to dig a hole in the pathway up there and
Yeah.
play up there. It was just right because it got curved. The size was curved, you see. You could sort of flick it round and try and get by your mate. Because we played a game where you couldn't hit anybody else's marbles. You had to try and get round it sometimes.
Yeah.
That's where the bank come better, you see. Flick it round off the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened if you hit somebody else's marbles then? What would happen?
You lost your marble, didn't you? Whoever's marble, your marble. Yeah.
What other games did you play in the streets? Football and stuff?
We used to play football. We used to get a couple of nut and bolts, put some caps in the middle, unscrew it down tight, throw it up in the air, and then it'd come down and explode, and one thing and another. We used to make kites.
Yeah. What out of paper or flaggy bags or something?
Paper. Well, it used to be brown paper, hadn't it? They used to get the edge. What's this edge? I can't remember the name of the flipping wood. But
Like a wood, isn't it?
No, it was just got the edge round the front, find a nice thin stick, cut it off and bend it round and, put an upright in the middle, cover it with brown paper or whatever you got, get any rags, tie it up, and you used to go up in the recce. You used to get them out. Sometimes they'd gone right out that far over the wood. You could even see a little black dot. Yeah. The thing is, you didn't want to sit and reel in about 200 or 300 yards or a mile long of cotton wool, because if they were running out with the cotton, somebody used to hold it and used to tie another reel of cotton on. Yeah. Then you used to cut it and let it go.
Yeah. Did you ever do things like knock door run and all that kind of stuff in them days?
Yeah, we got Tommy knocking. Yeah, tie some cotton onto. We did it one day. We went from one side of the street to the other. We tied it on one house and went across to the other one. Yeah. We wrapped one, and they'd open the door, and as they shut that door, it wrapped the door across the road, so they were sort of opening and closing the doors, kept wrapping. Yeah.
And then did you ever get chased, or don't you remember?
Oh yeah, we got used to get chased. The favourite saying was, "I know you get off up your own end. Yeah. You keep on, I'll chuck water over you." There's many times we had buckets of water chucked at. Yeah.
There was about a bucket of water on standby.
Yeah. We used to play hopscotch. Yeah. Tin o' lurkey.
What's tin o' lurkey?
We used to have stand a tin on the footpath, put some sticks on it. Yeah. And then somebody skimmed a stone at it, knocked the tin over. Yeah. Then we'd all run off, and then somebody got to try and catch everybody before the people got back and put the tin back up. You could put the tin back up first, and you had to put 1 stick on, 2 sticks, and 4 sticks. Yeah. If you'd done that, you'd won. And the other bloke used to be chasing all around after you, trying to catch you first.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah. Lurkey, we used to call it. Yeah. And we used to have I can't remember the name of that one. You used to get a tin, put some stones in. Yeah. That might have been tin o' lurkey. I don't know what the other one might have been called. You used to have to shake the tin and have a look round, and if you spot somebody, you'd tell them where they are, and if that's where they were, they were caught. They had to come into the den. Yeah. Or that I draw a snake on an elephant's back.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. You used to lean up against the lamppost, and I'd draw a snake on an elephant's back. Who dare dab it? Somebody come and dab it. Then you had to try and guess who dabbed it. If you got it wrong, they all ran off and went to hide, and you had to go and find them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played cricket and football up in the recce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you play football at school or rugby?
I played football at Thringstone Primary School. We played football,
Yeah.
and Mr. Carey he singled me out to play for Coalville boys.
Yeah.
So then when I played for Coalville boys, I played a few games in the Leicester City boys.
Yeah. Ah,
Yeah,
you were good then. What position were you?
I used to play out on the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you a fast runner?
I were in them days.
Yeah.
But when we moved to Castle Rock, that he didn't play football there because I think his name was Iwin Davis. He was a Welsh chap. It was it was rugby, and I used to love me rugby there.
Yeah.
That's how I got my nose broke.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
We were playing the game against one of the inter-house games,
Yeah.
and there was a loose ball, and I dived down, wrapped myself around it, and I just looked up, and then I seen this boot come up and hit me on the nose. I wouldn't have minded if it would have been the other player, but it was one of my own teammates.
Oh,
Howard Woolley, his name was. He busted my nose,
yeah.
and we finished the game, and I would tell the teacher my nose was hurting me. He just squeezed it a bit. He says, "You'll be all right, lad. But the only thing is, the Castle Rock school, I had to walk all the way to Thringstone, which was 3-4 miles.
Yeah.
Might have been a bit more, and my nose was throbbing.
Yeah.
When I got home, I said to Mum, "My nose is it?" She said, "Oh my God!" I didn't go to the doctors and have it. That's why it's still bent slightly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love me rugby.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever play other schools or just in?
No, we used to play other in-house and other schools.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever win the league or cup, right?
I can't remember. We were called the Wasps because we got gold and yellow stripes on our jumpers.
Yeah. What, like black and gold or something?
Yeah. We played one team over in Leicester. They were, I can't remember where it were now, but there was a lad in their side. You'd be running along, he'd dive down and just clip your back of your foot, and over you'd go like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And our captain, he was going for a try, and two on them actually got one either side, and they ran him into the goal post and broke his collarbone.
God.
So that set the tone for the rest of the match. Then it was a bit every man for himself then.
A free for all.
Yeah.